Hello, this is Haiku going through the Murders at Karlov Manor set review for the blue cards. Blue is going to get a lot better in the historic Pauper meta and the Explorer Pauper meta because balance is going to be really good against Slime against humanity. So that's going to be the real big player that's going to warp the meta or change the meta. And so blue gets a big buff. So I'm going to kind of be judging the blue cards in that light. So we're starting off with Behind the Mask. Behind the Mask, we're getting this effect now with almost every set where it makes a creature a 4/3 or a 4/4, and you draw a card sometimes. This time, without drawing a card, it's probably not playable, even though you get this bonus of this flexibility of using it to nerf the opponent's creature or buff your own creature. It's really easy to collect evidence, given we have the land cyclers, but blue's land cycler in Lorien Revealed only costs 5, so it actually counts against this. Unfortunately, this effect is not quite playable. Without drawing the card, the flexibility just doesn't improve the card enough to make it playable. Benthic Criminologist, too expensive, so I'm going to have to pass on that one. Bubble Smuggler, again, a flexible card. You could drop it as a 2 mana, a 3 mana creature, or flip it at 6 mana. It's just too miserable at all of those costs to be playable and constructed. Cold Case Cracker, a 3/3 flyer for just 4 mana is great for limited, but constructed, not playable. Crime Stopper Sprite, we've already kind of had this effect, and you didn't even have to collect evidence to tap and stun a creature for a 2/2 flyer. And that one saw some play, but we definitely did not play the full 4 of those, so I don't think you would want this card as well. So unfortunately, that holds it back. The fairy typing might be a little bit relevant for the ninja decks, but I don't think it's really going to change things. So I think, yeah, this is not going to see any play. Deduce will see play, on the other hand. It's just basically kind of a different way to think twice. So basically 2 mana to draw 1 card, and then 2 mana again to draw a second card. It's going to be very nice for the control decks to split up the draw like that. And then also it's very cheap to go to the graveyard at the beginning of the game to fuel your terrors and your other kind of spells. So a nice flexible card to go in those control decks. And the nice part is the artifact that it leaves behind can be used to tap to cast your counter spells. We've gotten a lot of counter spells that require artifacts tapping. There's the improvise one, and then there's the one from the Kamigawa set. I forgot the name of the Kamigawa set, but anyway, Neon Kamigawa. Anyway, so solid player, very very cool card design. Hotshot Investigator's too expensive. Jaded Analyst. We have a lot of these effects. 2 mana for a 3 power creature, sometimes it's a 3/3. Then you have to do something to get rid of the defender. We might get enough of these to make a deck around it, but why are you playing 2 mana 3 toughness creatures in construction, or 3 power creatures? Just not a good enough payoff for what you get. Out Cold, we've had this effect before, but now it can't be countered. I still don't think it's going to be relevant. Projector Inspector, some detective synergies, but unfortunately with a creature type that we've never seen before and will only kind of be seen on this plane, I don't think we're going to see much play for this card. The payoff isn't really that good anyways. Reasonable Doubt is the best card of the set. So I'd say Deduce is second, and then Reasonable Doubt first. So Quench is always kind of borderline. And then this upside is going to be really great in the blue tempo decks. Basically, if the opponent has a creature out, making it not be able to block is great for the rest of the game. And then if they don't have a creature out, giving your Ninja Menace so then when they do have creatures, they still can't block until they have 2 blockers. that's going to really up the tempo decks. And blue is going to get a lot better because slime is a thing. So now I think this is going to be a really big player in the blue ninja tempo deck. Unauthorized Exit. Unfortunately, this is just too much worse than Repeal to be playable. Surveil kind of helps the slime decks kind of build their slimes up better, so they can bounce an enemy slime and build their slimes up better. But unfortunately, I don't think this is enough better that you're going to be looking to play this card. So that covers the blue cards. Oh, sorry, one more blue card, Dramatic Accusation. The reason I wanted to highlight this card is this effect. You can activate it, and then you can balance Dramatic Accusation, attach it to a different creature, and this effect still applies to the creature it used to be attached to, which is a great way to cycle get good value. So we had this effect in Cooped Up, and now we got this effect now. So as we get more and more of these effects, there might be a deck here, kind of like a blue-white, bounce your pacifisms, but your pacifism have these additional abilities that allow you to get extra value to snipe opponent's creatures. And the nice part about that is it also works against hexproof decks because you can attach this. It bypasses targeting that you need for hexproof. So when it comes into play after bouncing it, it gets automatically attached. So it's a way for these decks to deal with hexproof. So it's kind of cool in that way. So we've got Cooped Up and this card, and then we got another card from Amonkhet on Arena that we can use for that effect. So we're getting close to the number that might be needed to have this be playable. Obviously, it works well with Scroll Shift. I don't think it's quite there. It's just almost there. It's a little bit limited because you have to do it at instant speed, so you can't use it with Core Sky Fisher and those other effects the way that the stack works. So those are the blue cards. Overall, kind of a solid counterspell quench variant and for the tempo decks, and the Deuce, which is going to be a really strong player for the control decks. And then some kind of cool cards like this one to play in some synergy-based decks. So that's blue. Hopefully you guys enjoy playing and brewing with the blue cards from Karlov Manor. And we'll get to the other colors. See ya.